So I guess I'm kind of curious, and maybe this is just me thinking completely differently than most. And I think I don't think it's a bad thing, right? But I saw this video kind of circulating around, and I started looking in the comments, and a lot of people were like, "Man, that ain't it. Man, Southern need to go back to da 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 da," and Southern ain't doing the same, and Southern don't sound the same, so on and so forth. I don't really. What am I missing? Am I missing something? Am I not hearing certain things that I guess other people are hearing or not hearing or whatever? I need to know if I'm off if I'm off on this. I don't necessarily feel like Southern isn't Southern. I feel like Southern is a different version because there have been different iterations of Southern under different directors, right? But I'm gonna be real. In this particular situation, some of y'all fans, or just some of y'all in general, remind me of like when your girl or your dude break up with you and then they become the worst person in the world. Cause like when y'all were together, everything was like dope, right? But then all of a sudden y'all not together anymore, and then the conversation becomes, she or he was toxic and he did this or she did this, and but that wasn't a problem when y'all were dating. It was only a problem because all of a sudden y'all not together no more, right? That's what that reminds me of. Mainly because of the fact that because and I'm gonna be honest, I don't think Southern is the number one is in the number one spot for HBCU bands right now. Most people would probably agree that it would be Jackson right now, right? But because they're in that position now, all of a sudden the conversation is like Southern sucks, and I'm like, I don't agree with that. I don't subscribe to that at all, honestly. And again, like I said, there are different versions and iterations of Southern, right? We got to start looking at it from that perspective. Dr. Greg Southern wasn't the same as Lawrence Jackson Southern. Lawrence Jackson Southern wasn't the same as Hamer Southern, and Hamer Southern isn't the same as Dr. Taylor Southern. I think we all can agree on that, right? I mean, if we don't agree on that, then that's I don't know. I don't know where else can we agree on. But now, don't get me wrong. There's traditions, there's standards, so on and so forth. I just don't see the difference specifically in what we call Southern-esque. Now, go with me here as my brain and my wheels are turning, and I'm talking about this in real time. So, you know, I'm getting this off at the thoughts right now in my brain. Is it even fair to look at Southern like in the way that we're looking at Southern right now? Because in my opinion, every iteration of Southern competition looked different, right? So go with me here. First of all, we know the band world in particular can be finicky, right? Like any given program can be on top through whatever succession of years we're talking about, right? But if we look at the years of Southern, right? We look at the Dr. Greg's years. Dr. Greg's years ended in '05. And in my opinion, those were good years of band, but that was still during the time when everybody still had their own sound, their own style or whatever. Fam was still Fam, Alcorn had their own style and whatever. Jackson had their own style. You could tell whose program was whose. That was during that time, right? And don't get me wrong, I believe that Southern definitely stood out. But they stood out because of who they were, what they did, so on and so forth. Now we move to the Lawrence Jackson era, which you still had that version of or that time of band programs having their own particular style, so on and so forth, right? Um, it wasn't until the latter years of Lawrence Jackson when things started to kind of shift over, right? Because I always say that band changed during the time or after the time of Robert Champion's death. If I'm not mistaken, Robert Champion passed away in 2011. Please, somebody correct me in the comment section and let me know if I'm wrong. But if he passed away in 2011, if I'm not mistaken, Lawrence Jackson's last year was 2013, which means that there were only 2 years of, that quote unquote hole that was left. And then you get into the Hamer years, which I would still argue is one of the best years, you know, of Southern. And I'm not saying that prior years weren't good, because I watched Southern when I was in high school, and that was during the Dr. Greg's years. But Hamer years was just a different situation. Now, here's the reason why: because that was also the rise of social media. The social media presence. Hamer's arrangements were really good. We can't deny that. That version of Southern was different. That was also the time where a lot of bands, because Fam was gone, there was not that different that program to differentiate from, and you get in the rise of the social media era. A lot of bands, let's just keep it a buck, started patterning their self off of the Southern-esque style. And that was when now you're getting, you know, the shift and the rise of Jackson, and you're getting the new version of PV at the time. And that was also during well, I think the '05 year was that year. Was that '05 or '06? That Texas Southern year when they were like massive. I can't remember if it was '05 or '06, but you're getting those years. And if I'm not mistaken, you're also getting the years of when Gip got there. Alcorn is changing over slightly. Like, you're getting these years, but the Hamer year of Southern is like the dominant. Like, let's just keep it a buck, right? Now, the problem with that is you get towards the end of the Hamer years, and people are now starting to develop who they are, right? Like, truly honing in and developing this new sound, this new style, this whatever you want to call it. And now you get into the Dr. Taylor years, where now a lot of bands are good or close to good or reaching their peak, whatever way you want to look at it, right? Because they've adopted this style and now they've quote unquote perfected it. But now you got Jackson State, who's Jackson Stating it right now. And I don't think that Southern is any less Southern than Southern. I just think that, again, I keep saying this all the time, I think that people have figured out the formula and they've perfected it. But it's just that Kedrick Taylor, Dr. Taylor, is just in this iteration of Southern. His version of Southern is in this era. And I just believe that now everybody is not everybody, but a lot of people have caught up. And now you're getting the rise of mass band too. Like, mass band strong now. And so people are looking for that continuation of within the you know, HBCU marching fall season. And so now all of these things are comparisons, and everybody's looking at this as a comparison. And it's like, everybody's like, well, Southern trash now. I just don't agree. I don't agree. I think Southern is Southern. They're just Dr. Taylor's version of what the jukebox looks like. I don't think that this sounds, to me, any less Southern than Southern. It's just Dr. Taylor's version of Southern. That's it. I don't know, but that's how I perceive it. That's how I look at it. That's literally how I look at it. And I could be absolutely wrong, but you guys tell me inside of the comment section, man. I don't get the idea of this is bad, or they don't sound good, or they don't sound like Southern. I don't get that, but maybe somebody can explain it inside the comment section. Y'all go inside the comment section and let me know what your thoughts are. Also, man, shout out to everybody who's going to be at the National Battle of the Bands today, man. It's going to be epic. It's going to be dope. I'm going to be looking for all the updates, and y'all are going to get some updates from me also, because we're going to probably talk about it. But other than that, man, don't forget, you can stop by our store, get anything you want, get 30% off your purchase. All you got to do is type in HBCU band. Again, tell me what you guys think. What's your thoughts on Southern and jamming with the jukebox? Also, yeah, Southern and North Carolina Central is playing today too in the MEAC SWAC. So we're going to be checking them out. Outside of that, man, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.